Chapter 4, Special Provisions. Welcome to your Euro Patent Brief Journey with Baris. We're going to explore some important special provisions, starting with the fees involved in divisional applications, and moving to Article 61 applications. Let's take our time here and make sure we understand each step. Are you ready? Let's dive in. Step by step. 1.4 Fees. 1.4.1 Filing, search, and designation fees. The filing fee and search fee for the divisional application must be paid within 1 month of filing the European patent application. This is your first critical deadline. 1 month. Let that sink in. It's easy to miss this if you're not careful. If the application has more than 35 pages, there's an additional fee to pay. You might want to check how many pages your divisional application has. For second or subsequent generation divisional applications, there's also an additional fee. This one grows progressively and can't be skipped. Let's pause here. Think. How many generations of divisional applications are we talking about in your case? Are there any extra pages or generation-based fees due? Next, the designation fee must be paid within 6 months. 6 months from the date the European Patent Bulletin mentions the publication of the European Search Report drawn up for your divisional application. This time frame is easy to lose track of. Take a breath and make sure you've marked this in your calendar. Even if you've already paid a search fee for the parent application, you still need to pay a new search fee for the divisional. Let's stop for a second. Can you recall the moment you need to make these payments? If any of these fees are not paid in time, your application is considered withdrawn. The EPO will inform you of this loss of rights through a Rule 112(1) communication. But don't worry. You can request further processing under Article 121 and Rule 135 to remedy this. Let's pause. Are you familiar with how to request further processing? It's your safeguard when things slip through. For divisional applications filed before April 1, 2009, there are additional remedies if designations are withdrawn. 1.4.1.1 Additional fee for divisional applications of second or subsequent generations. Let's move on to additional fees. For divisional applications filed on or after April 1, 2014, there's an extra fee for second or subsequent generations. Let's break it down. 1. If you have a first-generation divisional, there's no additional fee. 2. But if you're filing a second-generation divisional, you'll pay a progressively higher fee. For a third-generation divisional, the fee increases again. The amount increases progressively from the second to the fifth generation. Then, from the fifth generation onwards, the fee becomes flat. This fee structure is important to keep in mind, especially if you're handling multiple generations of divisional applications. Take a pause here. Do you understand which generation your divisional application belongs to? This impacts the fees you'll owe. 1.4.2 Claims fees. Now, let's talk about claims fees. If your divisional application has more than 15 claims, you'll need to pay a fee for each claim beyond that number. This applies even if those claims were already paid for in the parent application. Have you counted the number of claims in your divisional application? Pause and check. 1.4.3 Renewal fees. Next, we come to renewal fees. For divisional applications, renewal fees are due starting in the 3rd year. These fees are calculated from the filing date of the parent application. Breathe and let this point settle in. The parent application's filing date matters here. If renewal fees for the parent application are already due, you must pay those same fees for the divisional application. Let's pause here. Are you clear on when your renewal fees are due? they must be paid within 4 months after filing the divisional application. If you miss this period, you can still pay the fees within 6 months. But you'll need to add an additional 50% to the renewal fee. Let's take a deep breath. Do you know when your renewal fee deadlines are? Further processing isn't available for renewal fees. However, you can request re-establishment of rights. If you miss the renewal fee deadline, you have a 1-year window to request re-establishment. Take this moment to reflect. Have you noted down your renewal fee dates and the steps for re-establishment, if needed? Let's work through an example. Parent application filed March 25, 2008. Divisional application filed January 11, 2011. Renewal fee for the 3rd year due January 11, 2011. Renewal fee for the 4th year due March 31, 2011. Expiry of 4-month period May 11, 2011. Expiry of 6-month grace period for 3rd year fee July 11, 2011. Expiry of 6-month grace period for 4th year fee September 30, 2011. Expiry of 1-year period for re-establishment July 11, 2012. Let that settle in. Feel free to replay this example. 1.5. Designation of the inventor. The inventor must be designated for the divisional application, even if they were already designated in the parent application. This is a separate, independent requirement. If the designation is missing or incomplete, you'll be invited to correct it within 2 months. Pause here. Have you properly designated your inventor? Take a moment to ensure you're not missing anything. 1.6. Authorizations. If a representative is filing the divisional application, the authorization they submitted for the parent application must expressly cover divisional applications. If not, you'll need to submit a new authorization. Pause here. Are your authorization documents in order? You've got 2 months to handle this if needed. 1.7. Other formalities examination. All other formalities examinations for divisional applications are carried out just like those for regular European patent applications. Pause and reflect. Do you have any remaining formalities to address? 1.8. Search, publication, and request for examination of divisional applications. Divisional applications are searched, published, and examined, just like other European applications. When your application is published, the 18-month period is calculated from the filing date or the earliest priority date. Pause for a moment. Are you clear on how the search and examination work for your divisional application? Take time to make sure. 2. Article 61 applications and stay of proceedings under Rule 14. Now let's talk about Article 61 applications. In special situations, a court or authority may decide that someone other than the registered applicant is entitled to the grant of the European patent. If this happens, the third party has 3 options. 1. They can prosecute the application as their own. 2. They can file a new European patent application. 3. They can request that the application be refused. Pause here. Can you see how these options work in practice? Do you understand the choices available in an Article 61 scenario? If the original application is no longer pending, the third party can still file a new European patent application. This option is explained in G392. Pause and reflect. Is this relevant to any cases you're handling? Recap and reflection. Today, we've covered a lot of ground. We looked at fees for divisional applications, including filing, search, designation, and renewal fees. We also dove into special cases, like Article 61 applications. Take a moment to reflect on what you've learned. Which fees do you need to focus on? In our next session, we'll cover more important details, such as stay of proceedings. Don't forget to review today's material. You're doing great. Remember, the key to mastering this is consistent practice and review. Listen to this content as many times as needed. Thank you for your continued dedication. And see you in the next session.